Greetings and salutations. Ben here. Welcome to the Sunday Night Hang, also known as the Sunday Night Hang podcast, also known as the Sunday Night Hang live stream, also known as Canucks with Guitars when people call it the wrong name. I'm Ben. Please like and subscribe. Tonight, returning, yes, first time solo. This object is the one and only Charles75N. How you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you?
Not too shabby. Not too shabby. We've already got a bunch of people joining in. I'm going to give them a few more seconds to say hello before we do roll call. AK, shout out. Want to shout out? You don't? Huh. We've got beverages. We have conversations. We have gear to talk about. And so let's, all right. See, now we got 26 in here. That's better. That's better. We've got Guitar Man 45. He's just coming in hot and heavy with peace signs and toques and guitars. There's BC Rich 581. Love him. Taylor 315. Great to see Taylor 315 in here. Cool Tunes Made Easy. The one and only Terry 3 times himself. Hip Metal Works. Thomas Santiago. The hostage holder of my HX Stomp, Absolute Mayhem, in the chat. Perfect. Dane of New Jersey, Papa Blue, unbelievable. There's nice recognition from Pete today. I thought so. Yeah, well, he seemed excited to check out Charles as a guest. We both got shout-outs. That was kind of interesting. I like
that. Was really odd. It was just really odd. Nothing I ever would have expected.
I was because it's not like he threw the comment up on the screen and he kind of paraphrased it, but he's like, screw it, I'm reading it all. And then I'm like, I think Charles just peed a little because Pete just gave him a shout out. We've got the one and only Craig T. Tomlinson in the chat. Janice Lala's cooking. Nice. Symmetry's here. Paul McNary, Cushman, NYC, Vin's RJ, Hip Metal Works, L&M Guitar Corner. You woke up. What's up, Martin?
Cush.
Billy Baloney, Martin Lemaire, Tim Thomas, Jack Collins, Music Therapy Laz, House of Twang. Down to the bottom. All Dave, All Night. Jeff K's here. Ian Nunez. Good to see Ian made it. Awesome.
So Laz had his show today, and he was doing a giveaway, and he did not know that Pete was going live early.
I didn't know Pete was going live early. I opened it up, and I could have swore it said it was its normal time. I was off. What was I doing? Oh, I was talking to my dad, and I come downstairs, and it's like Pete started 15 minutes ago. I'm like, well, I'll be dipped. Dang, okay. Jump in. And no sooner do I jump in, and my brother-in-law showed up because we had some wind damage. It was windy, I don't know, 70 miles an hour gusts. Windy. It was windy, Charles, is what I'm saying. And I figured something was up because I looked out on the back deck last night, and I saw an object that looked a lot like a shingle. I went, oh, that's nice. And then Dad was complaining. He goes, I woke up and I'm hearing something banging on the roof. I'm like, yep, shingles probably just ripping right off. He went, okay, sure. I said, we'll deal with it tomorrow. He said, yeah, we will. So I'm not going out there.
We deal with that quite a bit down here in Texas, being Tornado Alley and all.
I bet. Yes. So we don't get this is a quite windy property compared to the last place I lived. But no, yesterday that was crazy. Hey, T. Ricky's here. I Rock Zed Blues. Other left. JP Page 2. Do we have festivities? We always have festivities. I've been partaking in a little mistletoe off air. I might partake in a little more. Just saying. It happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that time of year.
Yeah. We're just spreading joy to the world, I guess. One saxophone solo at a time.
Oh, boy.
Well, hey, there's Muddy Waters and Fruitcake Tony.
That is absolutely the best YouTube handle ever.
Muddy H2O.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was another one that was like that.
Mahogany.
Mahogany, yeah.
Yeah, I do enjoy the plays on words. I do enjoy those, yes. So, I was gonna, I'll mention because Unbelievable's here, and because and I mentioned it. We mentioned it briefly in Pete's chat, and so I'll mention it here. We got 33 people watching. Nice. I got a new pedal on the way.
Yeah, let's hear about that pedal. I'm intrigued.
I think the name of the company is called Hardwire.
Okay.
Yes, Hardwire. And I was asked the other night after our show over on Dave Nestal channel. If you haven't checked it out already, folks, if you weren't there Thursday night, you were there, Charles. I know you were working and lurking.
Yeah.
And Terry slept through it. We didn't see Terry. He wasn't there.
Well, that's how
he got a thanks. And but we had Mr. Johnny Highland on, and Johnny and I, well, you heard it, Charles. We became fast friends. I think it was about 2 minutes in when somebody said pedals. And then Johnny and I, well, let's just say I haven't spoken to him today, but I've spoken to him every day since.
Well, what was great was that Johnny was the first one to sit there and say, yeah, Ben and I are fast friends now.
You ain't kidding. So, Hey, John DeShane. Upside Down was great, too, because it was upside down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Muddy Water says Thursday night cost me $40. Good. Yeah, okay. What's up, Mayhem? Thank you. Yes, there's a link to Dave's channel. And, so Johnny and I were talking off air, and he's like, ask us, what are you into? What are you looking for? Blah. And I was like, I said, I'm into modulation. I'm into modulation too. I'm like, I know you are. I'm a fan. I know what you're into, Johnny. And he's like, and so I mentioned the new MXR Deep Phase. That was cool. And I said, I want to get an MXR flanger. Like, really, dude? What? Sorry. Why? I'm like, aren't they pretty cool? He's like, nah, man, you don't want that. He's like, what you want is a hardwire flanger. These flangers are great. And when Johnny Highland says, it sounds like all of a sudden he's giving you a product demo. All of a sudden,
definitely.
He's putting the hard sell on you. So I said, okay. He goes, tell you what, brother, I'm going to send you one.
Even better.
What? He goes, yeah, I'm going to send you. I said, well, Johnny, 2022 is supposed to be the year of the flanger on my channel next year. So maybe we'll kick it off with a pedal that you send. He says, well, I'd be honored, brother. How Johnny is, which is awesome. And so he's sending me, a flanger to check out.
Ben, I just want to respond to something in the chat real quick. Mark's O's Images, that Electar Tube 10 over there. Yeah, it's a great video. I've got a pretty good video of it up on the channel. It's my most popular video.
I've seen that. I believe the thumbnail. No, I had taken a thumbnail from the demo of that amp, and then I decided, you know what? Let's grab a thumbnail from the Fabric Top video.
Yeah, and I think it still ends up. It's still in there too, if I remember right.
Yes, it was a love fest. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he was real personable.
Yeah, what a nice guy. So I had forgotten until he reminded me that TJ Armstrong, his bass player, is Canadian.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So the big question is, Ben, why did you have me on? Because I remember I was sitting back one day, I was watching a patron video, and you were talking about a list of people you wanted to have on the hang, and I was just like, why me?
I've been threatening you for months. Yeah, because I've been mentioning that in patron videos, like going back like all year. Like you're always one of those things. I always threaten you, JP Page 2, BC Rich 581, the usual suspects. I think part of it was because, like I say, because I don't have the best memory for one thing. I realized, you've been around. You've been one of those guys hanging out in my chat since day one. And so I was just like, and you would rib me at times from the chat in a good way, in a loving way. And I was like, all right, I get that. Unbelievable is another one. Great question. Why me? Yeah, you're another one. Certain guys crack me up. What's up, Benji? And Eddie Van Haskell's here. He's another one, Eddie Van Haskell.
Yeah, definitely. And
it's just you guys, you got a personality that definitely comes through in your comments. And I was like, he's cool. And I could tell what you're into based off comments on videos, and you can tell just what people are into. And I was like, he's into a lot of the same stuff as me. And certain people from the community, all of a sudden, they just, like the Great Vanzini, just the name alone, I'm like, I have to interview the Great Vanzini.
With a name like that, you have to.
Right?
And he's a great
Blackjack guitar, milk tea.
He is just a great guy to go back and forth with in the chat.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's it. Like, you got a kick out of my stuff, and definitely. And that's the other thing. It's like a longtime viewers, especially active viewers and stuff. It's like, okay, I want to get a chance to meet you. And, it's like, Christ, I don't think anybody comments on more videos than you. For me personally, or I could say as a family member, because you comment all of the NAS Canuck stuff and Doug stuff,
Well, it's one of those things. I appreciate what's being done, and it's brought me a lot of joy, and it's helped me through some tough stuff along the way. And I want to let it be known that I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, glad to do it. And it also, this is one of these channels we get to put faces to names. Usually we do it on a community chat, but again, hey, Jason. But especially, this thing, you kind of break in through a community hang, we'll say, on the channel, and it's just like, I didn't get to talk to Charles enough during that. So let's do this as a one-on-one, And
I tell you, I had a hoot on that hang, and I was just like, it was like I was sitting at the big kids table.
Right. Well, sometimes you can, and the great thing about group hangs, and I do it myself. You watch back on a show. It can be 10 minutes where I don't say a word. I just because if two people are having a really cool conversation out of, say, the four of us, I'm not getting in the way of good conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
Martin wants to point out he's also commenting on almost all of our videos.
I do. They have a great channel, and they do great stuff.
They do.
And it's
my God, Charles.
And it takes a lot of work.
Charles, you've seen L&M's live streams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Think back to when I was doing the original Canuck show on Thursdays with Richie.
Mm-hmm.
Same vibe, and especially reading the comments on the phone. The only difference is the accent.
Yeah,
and I was just like, "Oh wow!" I'm like, these guys, they're giving off, and I don't think they meant to in any way, shape, or form. But I was like, you guys were giving in the way they would get into it with each other and differences on stuff, and I was just like, "Yep, this is the Canuck show reincarnated and further east."
Well, it's funny. I found out doing the four-way switching that the two of them don't agree on four-way switching. Because I think Martin likes it in series and Lucas likes it in out of phase.
I know Martin likes it like me, out of phase.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, Martin likes it out of phase and Lucas likes it in series, and I was just like, okay. And I wired mine in series, and I love it. But I think I'm going to take my other telly and wire it out of phase.
And for me, I always did the out of phase right before the bridge only, because it's a drastic difference, and you only in sound and volume, and you only had to flip one spot. And I like that because, especially playing in a band, I'd be playing out of phase the whole time. And then if I want to take a lead, I wouldn't even have to reach for a lead. Just mash it back to the bridge only, a little more focused sound, and it would cut through without drowning anybody out.
Well, as far as those come, unless I can find the diagram that tells me what to, how to do it that way, it's not getting done that way because, my switches are lined. My switch on my telly is lined up the way that the diagram on the video I followed was.
Reach out to Travis at Reno Fin because that's how he wires my signature guitar.
Oh, okay. Do that.
So he knows how to do it. He wired up the 71. Yeah, because it was wired up different before because Richie had wired it up originally. And then when I was replacing the pickups in it, Travis was in town and he's like, here's your pickups. He's like, do you mind if I borrow an amp off you? Because I'm like in a hotel for a few days and I don't have an amp. I'm like, sure. Do you want to install these pickups that you just handed to me? He's like, sure. I was like, awesome. Because you're going to do a much better job than me.
Well, I'm really glad that I wired this one up the way I did because I like the fact that if I start from the bridge position,
right?
I'm in still regular tele mode. Everything is where I know it to be. I know if I'm all the way forward, I'm in series, and so I kind of like it that way. But I am really digging this. I set it all up, and I'm still kind of tweaking the setup a little bit. I can't decide whether I want it a little lower or a little higher, so it keeps going back and forth.
Here, I'm going to present you on that. We'll show this off. Yeah, I dig the tortoise with the blonde too. It looks sweet.
And it's more when you look at it in person, it's showing pretty accurate the color of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I had thought about doing a maple neck because all my guitars are rosewood. Right. And but with this color body, it
really works.
It would have looked like this.
It's weird seeing it as a 4-bolt neck. That's only when you see the bullet truss rod, and then you think, well, it's got to be a 3-bolt.
No.
Yeah. No, I'm curious with that. Does that neck have the micro tilt function?
It has the space for it, but the device to do it isn't there.
Okay. I was wondering because I noticed when you were installing the neck plate during the video, I was like, oh, he's got the hole for the micro tilt. So I was wondering if it actually had it or not.
Yeah, I am.
See, I pay attention when I watch videos too, Charles. I just don't pay attention in my own videos. I pay attention in your videos. Same way you pay attention to mine. And, see, that's how it works, right?
I think it does, but I'm not familiar because it does have the little hole there.
Yeah.
For it.
But you would see a metal disc in the base of the neck.
Yeah, so yes, it is there. Sorry.
Oh,
I had to think about that. Running back through my head. And I'm just not familiar enough with that function. I mean, the whole idea behind this was I wanted a telly that was all Fender and really couldn't afford to buy that way. And so I set out, and like I said, I set out to sit here and do it. And I wanted to put together something that was recognizable as a Fender in all Fender stuff, and but was still unique to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I dig it. I could see that as someone's signature guitar. For instance, if you went in a music store, you saw that hanging on the wall, you'd be like, oh, what's that? They're like, oh, like it's the latest Chris Shiflett model. You're like, that's snazzy. That's cool.
So I just kind of I lucked out with it because I got a great deal on the body and I got an even better deal on the neck. I was blown away.
Hey, we got Tinkerbell in the house.
Hey Tink, how are you?
And we got Terry Himes, Dwight Bailey, Thomas Santiago got a Rival limited pedal. Is that the Rival delay, like Lawrence's Rival delay? Curious. Or is it Rival as in that's the name of the company of the pedal? Oh, Ian Nunez just stuck Fender pre-wired pickguard loaded with Tex-Mexes into an Affinity Squire last night.
Ooh.
Thanks. RJ, Mad Raj in the house. Thanks for doing the emoji. Because, yes, I saw you earlier and I forgot to say hi. Thunder Falcon. 52 people. Was 55. 3 people are like, not for me. Nope.
I'm an acquired taste.
You and me both, brother. That's why doesn't Ben have 1 million subs? Because I'm not that mainstream. I'm a little more niche-y, and I like it that way.
Well,
we're the YouTube counter community.
every time I look at your number of subscribers, I cannot believe it's not higher. I really can't.
I don't get it. Watch the videos when they come out. We have usually though the hardcore, like we got 55 watching. All of you folks watch them when they come out. It's the other 3,500 or so we gotta get. Unbelievable got the Spark wireless foot controller today. Nice. Very cool. Hope you got a Spark for it to go with.
Yeah, I didn't know that had a foot controller.
Wireless, no less. Mm-hmm. That seems like shenanigans could ensue. Like you get yours and you put more powerful batteries in it, and he's playing away, and you just start messing with his gear.
Oh yeah, you take his batteries out.
That too. He says it sucks. Perfect. Yep. So you got your telly wrapped up. You've got the Fabric Top Junior, which looks gorgeous.
Yeah, you want to see that?
Yo, twist my rubber arm. Why not? It's in the thumbnail, after all.
Yeah, it is in the thumbnail.
Damn straight.
And now check out my truss rod cover.
Oh, look at this. See, the guy puts out half a dozen videos. Next thing you know, he's got custom truss rod covers, which I hear do add 14% more sustain and 32% more tone. No, that can't be right, but I'm sure it is. Heard it on the internet, so it must be true.
I will tell you, though, my wife did not understand this hobby until I did this. And she saw me take it from what it was to what it has become, and she was impressed. And so kind of got a pass on gear for a while after that.
No shit. At least the fixer-uppers.
Yeah.
You know, well, you see, I think, yes, with the way she feels, you can go and get those pawn shop specials, you know, the fixer-uppers. And just say, I just rescued another one from the pound, honey. That's all. I'm just, because that's what the pawn shops are like the pounds to me. You know, I rescued it from the pound. It was destined for some person's hands that probably just doesn't want good tone. What's up, Mike? Christopher?
Well, this is a Strat we're working on.
Yes. That was the fabric you were asking me about for that Kramer, I think.
Yeah, and we can still do that. I can get some more of that fabric, or we can find you something else if you want something else that's more unique. But before doing that Kramer, I wanted to make sure I had another one under my belt, because the LP Junior was the first one I did. And so I wanted, didn't know if that was just a good job or a happy accident or what.
We've got BV reporting in. He just wants to wish us a good evening and good night. It's a late night in Switzerland. So, yes, you have the legend BV himself watching you, Charles.
Wow. Well, and Martin set his alarm to be here.
That's true.
So you've seen the photos of the headstock, right?
Yeah, look at that. That's just awesome.
So that'll be something nice to kind of hang on the wall. I don't think I'll put any real money into it, but I think it'll come out pretty decent when it's done. On that one, I just decided that I was going to go ahead and make as many mistakes as I could. So what I did was, on the front, I took the fabric, and even with all the contours, I tried to wrap the fabric all the way around the side to the back. Nice. And but
that's not easy.
With those contours, you can't really do that, and you end up with some problems you got to fix. And so that's why you see pieces coming apart right here, because I've peeled them back to go ahead and correct some errors. And so, but it's one of those. It won't be perfect when it's done, but it's still going to look good.
All right. So BV sent in a photo. It's captioned Santa and his favorite elf.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we'll just bring this up. Folks, I warn you, once you see this, you're not going to be able to unsee this, okay? Just saying. Santa and his favorite elf, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, by trying to do all this, I'm losing bandwidth. So, all right, well, we'll just end that. So there we are. So yeah. Just the comments.
Yeah. I love DC Rich.
Hey, robot. He's like, cool. Let's see here. I did see there was a few questions. So Unbelievable says, Charles, it'll be a few weeks before I get the Kramer body to you.
All right.
If he's got some stuff going on, we get it.
Yeah, I know he does. Just go ahead and go to my YouTube channel and grab the email there, and I'll send you the address for when you're ready.
Yeah, that was Leland Sklar.
Yeah, sure.
With he had a Luke in his lap. You've heard of Elf on the Shelf? That was a Luke in a lap.
Oh, good. That was good.
Oh, that one deserves a bowl. That was good. I'm celebrating on that one. Super chat or not, I'm celebrating that one.
Mm. That's what I love about. Okay, great. Thanks, Unbelievable. But that's what I love about this community. When you come to this chat, it's a lot different from the chats and a lot of others. And you know, everybody will rib everybody, but it's all good natured. And
I'm all about. I'm fine with lighthearted ribbing. Hello, NYC pizza sucks. Okay, well, that's an opinion.
That's pretty specific.
That's must really not care for it. Luke looks like a homeless person. Magic Man's here.
Gana, New Jersey.
Oh yeah, somebody was asking if you put anything over the fabric once you're done.
Yeah, I'm using poly on them, not lacquering them.
Well, because you value your life.
That.
Although it's Texas, you can probably buy lacquer at the convenience store. Like, whereas here, you can't buy real lacquer paint unless you're in the aircraft industry.
It is no problem to get it, but honestly, if you know, I'm not really a relic kind of guy, and so if I'm going to do something, I want it to be protected and last.
Plus, I don't think checking a clear, because that's all you're doing lacquer for is for checking, and check clear over fabric's going to look like crap. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you want that to be nice, shiny, smooth, like a glass top over top of it.
Well, the really cool thing about doing the LP Junior was that originally the paisley in there, that white was kind of bright, but when you polyed it, it yellowed. Mm-hmm. And so it gave it a nice kind of vintage look when it was all said and done.
Yeah, because I think that's the difference between if it stayed bright white, it would look like a cheap Sears guitar, as opposed to all you have to do is age it a bit, and all of a sudden you're like, ooh, what's that cool thing? Hey, Sir Lawrence of the Pedals with a new avatar. Look at that, it's all spiffy.
Ah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Lawrence, I was playing around with my nice Drive A and my 68 earlier, about an hour ago.
Milt, still rocking the Death OG. There's Paul Leonard Ewing. I got a message from Richie the other day that somebody had a nice Drive A up on the Kijiji. I'm not saying it was Chris from Coburg, but the guy's name was Chris, and the ad was from Coburg. So I am not sure if he got rid of it or what was up. I assume he needed money, because why else would you get rid of one? So if it's still available and hasn't sold and he wants to sell it, maybe we can get rid of it on his behalf tonight. Great to see Chris in here. Start talking about it, and the man shows up along with Zach Thong.
Mm-hmm.
falling, can't get up after that windstorm last night. Yeah, no kidding. That's crazy. And 6-string Brian. All the Canucks are just jumping right in.
Well, you know, they you know, they heard A. Something going on.
Exactly.
I tell you though, I absolutely love your Gretsch. And, you know, I was always of the opinion that it's not a Gretsch if it doesn't have a Bigsby on it.
So there we are. Okay. He's not selling it. He retracted the ad from that. Okay. So the thing, yeah. So Rich sends me an ad. He was like, check it out. I was like, I saw it. And of course I replied, I'm like, yeah, I think I know the guy. Yeah. I'm like, I know the guy. He's like, well, I figured you would. You know, he's like, it's your buddy Chris up in Coburg. I'm like, yeah. So, but then apparently that ad made it around the old workplace of Richie's workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I was telling my sister about it. It's kind of funny because Lawrence's name is out there enough, right? That the people are like, oh yeah. And they're like, and they know Rich knows about Lawrence. So they're like, so do you know anything about this pedal? He's like, all right. So it's a pedal built by an obscure pedal builder partnered with an even more obscure guitar player. Like, yeah, that's an understatement.
Really selling it, huh?
So you're not selling it. I get it, Chris. You're keeping it. I get it. Sorry. So, yeah. So, and so they're like, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, and apparently it's some young guy, you know, he's like, yeah. And he's like, I know the guy. He's like, oh, like, you know, Laura? He goes, no, the guy who's pedal. That's Ben. That's like, well, one of my best friends, blah, blah. He's like, what? You know the guy? Because from a total outside thing, I get it. Like, you're talking the needle of a needle. And he's like, yeah, I know that needle.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's so funny because I've got the screen going on the other screen right here. So I can see the chat. And it's funny watching the delay in the actions from one screen to another.
Nice robot. Unless it fetches $500. I get it. Hey, if you get $500 for it, let me know because I've got more and I know where I can get more.
You'll have to ship direct.
We'll just tease them out into the market, Charles. Couple every year or so, you know. But it'll be like a Klon thing, super rare, super hard to come by.
Oh, that's the way to do it. I tell you, I still go looking for a lost Dutchman every day.
I get it. That's true, Chris. Unlimited exclusive. I like that. Yes.
Unlimited exclusive.
Well, I was thinking when we get ready to do another run or any time that Lawrence has the parts for a nice drive A and I have the surplus cash, I want to send Johnny Highland one. So I think he'll dig it. I think he would really like it.
I think so.
Symmetry's back from lurking. Had some French onion soup. Nice. I was not smoking a moth, Eddie. Michael Krause. My local music store has a Klon Golden Horse for $6,000. That's cheap. What's up, Brad Guitar Miller?
I don't know. I don't see how anyone could pay $5-6 for a pedal.
Well, if you got the liquid income, you know, if I, oh my God, I just imagine the amount of gear I would have if money was not an object, because I'll be like, yeah, what does a Klon sound like? Well, let's find out. Let's track one down, you know. I would have one of everything. But on the other hand, you know, you could be like, hey, I'm looking for this. I'm like, I got one of those. You want it? I haven't played it in a year and a half. You know, bought it, played it once. Lawrence should make a talk box. That's work. Unbelievable says, damn, I'll send Highland mine. Worth it. You wouldn't have one, buddy. But again, you know a guy. I know, you know.
He knows a guy that can get him anything.
Magic Man says, I wouldn't spend $6,000 on a guitar, let alone a pedal. Yikes.
Well, if I did, I'd be living on my own.
Speaking of which, Magic Man, did you reach out to Johnny about that yet? Because we're talking off air, and Johnny might just send you his slide if it's easier. He was talking about that off air. Instead of just sending him a Johnny Highland signature Mag Slide guitar slide, available at magslide.com. Instead of, just Johnny was like, I'll just send him mine.
Yeah. How cool would that be, right?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You all know a guy. Lawrence says you. Ian Nunes has never owned a Klon clone yet. The biggest thing I see there is yet. Oh, I will one day.
Well, it's so funny. Being new to guitar, I always thought that my first pedal was going to be a blues driver.
Sure.
And I know you don't like them, but
I was shocked that I didn't like them. That's the scary part, Charles. Is I never had a chance to play one for years and years, and then I finally tried one, and I was like, well, this is a big old box of meh for me. And it was a Wazacraft. So then I threw the Waza. I turned on the Waza, I guess. I don't know. There's a switch. That's the Waza switch. Basically, you throw the switch to spend more money. That's all that switch is more money. And it didn't really do much for me.
Well, I watched so many videos about the blues driver because I was convinced I wanted one, and I still do. But there was an undercurrent through the videos that people liked the original blues driver more than any of the modded ones or the Waza. And so I thought that was going to be my first pedal. I really did. And I ended up with a 68 instead and couldn't be happier.
NYC Pizza Sucks says Metal Zone is the only pedal anyone ever needs. If anyone's interested in a Metal Zone, I have a modded one. It's got a tri-gain mod in it, so it's 3 pedals in one now. Steve McFall, who we've seen in the chat, the guy who's going to do the work on my guitar, Charles, he actually modded that pedal some years ago. I bought he's like, dude, I'm getting rid of some pedals. I'm like, oh yeah? And I didn't have any pedals at the time. I had a few, but I didn't really have any pedals. I had like 3 or 4 and maybe half of them worked. I don't know. I said, what do you get rid of? He goes, I don't know, like 20 or so pedals. I'm like, really? He's like, when can we meet up? He was like, well, I got band practice tomorrow. Why don't you just swing by band practice? I'm like, that is okay. Because I was already coming into town here to see someone play. And just happened they were rehearsing just down the street from where this pub was that we're checking out this act. And popped over. And that was one of the pedals I bought just for the hell of it. And I forget what I bought that day. I bought a bunch of stuff that day. Like 8 pedals. Still have a few of them. The few that I couldn't get rid of. Basically. I don't think I kept anything out of what I got from them.
Well, I've just got the 3. I've got the nice Drive A and the 68 and that tape delay.
What are you thinking next? What would you add to the mix?
Well, right now I'm kind of on a gear break after doing the Tele project, but I still want the blues driver. But I have said to myself, I will not pay more than $50.
Right. So just basically you just want a new, whatever the latest version is, that's, the cheap one that's available new, you want used.
Yeah, exactly. I get it.
It's like you're running the mill like an SD1. I don't have a made in Japan SD1. I just bought the cheap used latest generation because it's going to be close enough for me.
Well, I just hate to spend full price on anything.
Oh, it kills me to spend full price on anything in life.
That was the way I approached that Tele build was I knew I was going to build something, but I wasn't quite sure. I had what I wanted in my mind. In my mind, I wanted an olive green body and a solid rosewood neck. Right, but that's kind of cost prohibitive.
That's pretty unique.
Yeah. Well, and so I kind of knew that was out the door. And so I just kind of been cruising Facebook Marketplace and Reverb and everywhere else and The body off the telly was from a local gigging musician. And he was selling it because it was heavy. And it's a heavy body.
Ian, I think this is the pedal that you were recommended because you were talking about for a Klon. This is Lawrence's improvement on a Klon. I won't say his take on a Klon, his improvement on a Klon. So, and there's my settings at the time. Wow, that's a lot of level. No, it's not. I was looking at it backwards. It's very little level. All right. What's up, Mickey Settlemeyer and Hog Rotten and Mahogany? We're talking about your earlier Mahogany, which we love your screen name. Need an LPD Cascade. I agree. Oh, there we go. Lawrence, he's happily sharing links to stuff that he sells.
Oh, yeah. Well, he should. Yep. Everybody should have at least one Lawrence pedal, I'm telling you.
I was going to say, you're going to say, everybody needs to have a Lawrence in their life.
That's true. That too.
That too.
That too.
I got a guy. I got a guy
that does it.
Yep. I know we were on Lawrence the other night to do a wah. He doesn't want to do a wah because wahs have been done to death, but I think he should do a modded wah. That way he doesn't have to get into wahs as much.
Just do a wah, but it doesn't sound like a wah. It sounds completely different.
Just sweep a completely different spot in the spectrum.
Yeah. People go, what is that?
Lord help us if he goes full digital on anything, because then the possibilities are endless. Oh boy. Yep. That'll happen someday. We got 63 people watching. Please leave a thumbs up. I'd love a thumbs up if you leave a thumbs up. You leave it, I love it. That's how it works. Yeah, let's host a talk show. Can you talk? Nope.
No, not at all. But this is the wonderful thing about your channel is this: it really is a community, and it's a place where guys can come and talk, and it doesn't matter how much experience you have or don't have. Everyone here is always nice to everybody else, and lending advice and all those kinds of things. And so, it was one of the things that really attracted me to the channel and kept me coming back and kept me commenting on everything.
I like to welcome all levels of players, all ages, whatever, Well, Billy, that's fine. Tank Spot so many pedals recently, and I've gone back to plugging directly into the amp. You just went full circle, eh? It happens.
So is he trying to see what he can do with the amp by itself now that he's done the whole pedal thing, or?
Oh, Laz, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Hey, as long as you're pursuing good tone, that's all I care about. I care more about your tone than anything else. Nationality, couldn't care less. Religion, don't care. Political beliefs, don't care. I care about your tone. If you got crappy tone, we can't be friends. But I shouldn't say that, Charles. If you're willing to try to improve your tone,
there you go.
And even then, tone's all subjective. You go, yeah, but that's my tone. We're like, all right, but you know what? You need to convince at least 2 other people in the chat that you have decent tone. If nobody else in the chat, they're all like, sorry, dude, your tone sucks ass. Like, you need to work on your tone.
Well, that's
but the great thing is the community. Then you do a video. You're like, hello, YouTube community. I'm Charles. I need better tone. I'm starting a GoFundMe for a Lawrence Petros pedal. Will you all contribute? For as little as $1 each, I can be into an LPD, say 68, and I get my tone on. And we're like, hey! And then we just, we help each other out.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like
and we do help each other out a lot. Like, how many times in the chat it's like, hey, I'm looking for this. Oh, I got one of them in a drawer that I don't use. All right, hit me up.
Well, I tell you, I got to give my wife credit because I was going, in order to pay for the telly build, I was going to go ahead and sell my PV65. and the J Tercer, the green J Tercer, because I felt guilty that I was going to be, I was going to be spending that money this time of year. And she's like, well, how much did you spend and how much are you making at work? Because I'm working a part-time job to kind of pay for stuff. And she's like, no, you don't need to sell it. And normally it's like, no, if you're not, get rid of it. And then she was like, no, don't sell it. If you want to keep it, keep it. So.
Just make sure you get something. Oh, he scored himself a Marshall 1960A. So slant cab for 280 Canuck bucks. Nice.
Not bad
a
at
nice
all.
412 slant cab. Nice.
It's like when I got the Princeton 650 back there, I thought I got a real, I paid like I think it was 150 or so for it, and then so I thought I had a good deal, and then I reached into the back of it and pulled out a Mogami cable.
Mike Jones says, Ben, just get a Fender Micro. It's only $100. You'll get pro tones and get better tone than you've ever displayed in your demos. All right. Well, I'll tell you, one, I know the camera mic doesn't pick up the exact tone in the room, but I don't think I've got some pretty damn nice tone in the room.
Gotcha.
And I will, for those that have been in person as opposed to only on camera, but trust me. Hell, I've been showing up enough jams in the last couple months that people are like, ooh, nice tone. Well, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I blame Lawrence. That's the key. House Twang says, my wife has supported my gear addiction. Nice.
Well, at first my wife was like, well, you spent how much? And what are you getting rid of? And since I did the LP Junior, she's like, okay. She kind of gets it now.
A little bit, Magic Man. I love tone chasing too, John.
Well, the other thing is, I've been, when it's funny thing when you put up a video and then you listen it back on YouTube, and I've been realizing that the tone that I've been using is so bright, and I really probably should turn up my bass a little bit.
I can't record direct, Mike. I don't have a way to record direct into my camera. Well, phone. You're up in the city. If you're down in the area, let me know. Come on over. Check out the gear. Magic Man says my gear addiction is keeping me from having a life. Oh, yeah. There's that too. Yeah, pretty much unbelievable. There's a couple people in the chat that's been over. I know Milt's been over. I don't know who I've seen in the chat and who I haven't seen in the chat that haven't been over. Oh, Mayhem, obviously. Although it's been a bit since Mayhem's been over. Man, I think it's been since summertime. That's crazy.
It used to be like Mayhem would bring something over every week. Okay.
Sometimes guitar related. Exactly, Martin. Exactly. Yeah, mic placements, everything.
Mm-hmm. The connectors guitar.
Yeah, I want to start getting a better setup for recording for demos. That's why I haven't done a demo in, I don't know, month and a half, 2 months, I think. Last time I think it was when I did a batch of pedals for Lawrence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really haven't. So are you still looking for choruses? Because I
Choruses?
know you've been looking at flangers for next year.
Well, we got 19 days left for the year of the chorus, and actually, I could knock out one more chorus demo. There is a chorus sitting over there I haven't demoed yet, so. And hello, Mr. Nesdall. We were talking about our awesome show we had last Thursday night earlier there with Mr. Johnny Highland.
That was a treat. That was just a big treat.
That's true, Mayhem. And Mr. SPJ. Yes, didn't you just come out of retirement, Sean, with the Stompbox Saturday? Didn't I see something like that? Posted on the socials, well, yesterday, Saturday. No, unbelievable, no. Ben hasn't done a demo in a while. Send him your compressors. No.
Compressor's not your favorite?
Well, it's really hard to demo without, unless you really turn up the squishiness.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a transparent drive. Here it is. Oh, wait, I don't hear a difference. Exactly.
Well, I still need someone to explain to me the benefit of a Waza tuner.
I don't know. Why they make them other than for pretentiousness. I don't know. And you know me, with my it'd be too accurate. It would just annoy me. I'd just be playing over under.
I still don't get that one.
That works, Ian. The Waza has a better buffer. That could be.
Possibly.
I do not know. No compressors. No. Flangers. Next. Hey, Sean Zimmerman. Yes. Dale Boyle Music's here. I think, 2022, the year of the flanger. I don't know if I have to look on the channel if I've ever actually done one on the Joyo. But that thing has been on my board since the old house. And no other pedal other than my tuner was on my board for that. Well, that and the compressor, because I own 2 compressors.
Mm.
And there's a reason I bought the new one. So.
Magic Man says he wants a Keeley to make a tuner.
With the blue light. Oh, really? Are we saying something but you're not saying something? I don't know, Charles. I need a second opinion.
Yeah.
When he of all people says that.
When he hints like that, you know something's coming.
Yeah. But we've got. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to check to see if I've done the Joyo Classic Flange. I know I've done the Boss Flanger already on the channel, but I could do that again because that was one of my first pedal demos I've ever done. So couldn't hurt to redo. Because I think that was back when I was doing pedals that were on my pedal board and the pedal wasn't even on camera at all during the demo. I do one of those, adjust. And then you'd see me look back, hey, blah, 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 blah. Adjust.
Well,
hey, Matthew Stewart.
That's the thing.
I would love to check out a Camo Flange, John Duchesne. That is a very cool one.
Well, and that's the thing. Until you start making these videos, you don't realize how difficult they really can be to make. I mean, trying to get an angle where someone can see what you're doing, and you still be able to see what you're doing.
Oh yeah, try to throw shade. Unbelievable. I'm not allowed to talk about this and that. Yeah.
War laws.
Hey, Basement Guitar Superstar.
Hey, Dan, how are you doing? But yeah, it's funny story about that the wiring up that Telecaster. that's the third time that I've soldered in my life.
You are not stingy with the solder, my friend. I'm watching it like, oh, that's a lot of solder.
It's only the third time I've done it, and I couldn't, half of it I couldn't really see what I was doing because I was trying to get where the camera could see it, right?
Yeah. There is one thing I would mention. If there was one thing, and because I wasn't going to mention in the comments, and I kept forgetting to message you, was when you go to solder the ground on the back of a pot, scuff it up a bit first.
Yeah.
It'll save you 90% of your hassle right there. It'll grip right away.
Saying, use the wider tip on your soldering iron, and I had it right there in the thing. You didn't think twice about it.
Yeah, it's all about the flow, Lawrence says.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe if I hadn't started doing premieres because folks like yourself gave me feedback. I always love it when it's like I'm like, okay, I'm going to get 100 views on this video. 3 people comment on premieres. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, nobody said don't do it. So I'm like, all right, I guess the audience has spoken. So that last one, it was literally, beep, it worked. Now, oh,
what do we do now?
Yeah, I was like, huh.
It was
all
great.
right. I was not expecting that to actually work. I spent more time trying to figure out camera angles. Yeah, that's another fun one, isn't it? Trying to solder around cameras, or it's right there. And
well, it was like, you and I kind of had that conversation over text message about whether I was going to record that or not. And I really was leaning against not doing it just because it would only be the third time I really soldered anything in any significant quantity anyway. And so I was really nervous about doing it.
I get it.
But it all worked.
Hey, scary thing, like Laz has done it a couple of times. I used to do that shit live.
Yeah.
Before, if you go back on the channel, way back, the Sunday night show was usually me doing a guitar setup or repair. You were there.
Yeah.
And talk about, I'm like, hey, I'm going to do a pickup replacement live. You're like, when's the last time you did a pickup replacement? I'm like, 1997. You're like, oh, this should be fun.
But I will tell you, the everyone in the community has just been so supportive of those things. The comments off those videos have been nothing but positive. So.
Did I miss something in the chat? I know, exactly, Muddy Waters. He's like, the last video was disappointing. I must say, no coffee came out my nose or anything. Right? Well,
Martin, that's a good point.
All right, I'll be honest. The next video, because I'm looking at it, is I got an early Christmas gift because it was too big to hang out at my sister. I got a new chair, so I'm going to be putting that chair together. So that should be fun, Charles. I'm going to build a chair. We'll see how many leftover parts I have, and if I sit in it and just, yeah. It was like when I had Sean Horwitz on last week and talking about soldering. He's like, so what's the problem with you soldering? I'm like, I don't know. I used to do this stuff. I learned this shit 30 years ago. It's like, but I think it's skills if you don't use them for a long time.
Well, I don't know what I was doing saying yes to this, because following Sean is not an easy task.
Well, that's okay. Next week's to be announced. In other words, I don't know. Who am I going to have on next week? Who do I see in the chat? Who should we have on? That could be it, House of Twang. Maybe we should try to rope House of Twang into getting on.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Just saying. Dave put new speakers in both his amps tonight. Cool.
Did he say what speakers?
No.
No.
Of course not.
Hide all the important information.
Christmas group hang. We're doing that, Symmetry. When? The last Sunday of the year. The Sunday, I guess it'd be Boxing Day. Wait, I got a calendar. everybody outside of Canada is like, what the fuck's Boxing Day? Don't worry about it. Yeah, Boxing Day. That's the 26th. Will be a group hang show, end of year hang. Also the 20th, which is a Monday, the Monday previous to Christmas, we're doing the Canucks with Guitar staff Christmas party live on air.
Dan, congrats on those 250 subs.
Sweet. It is Boxing Day. What's up, Tom? So yeah, Tom. Tom knows. I forgot to tell Terry. Terry, the 20th staff Christmas party show.
Oh,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's sort of like when Halloween happened to fall on a Sunday for the first time ever, and I don't do anything for Halloween. Guess I'm doing a Halloween hang. What did I get the girls for Christmas? Oh yeah, I guess I'll be doing a wrapping live stream I did last year. I'll do another one of those this year. Sam got a bunch of the LOL surprise. They're little dolls and surprise packs. I don't get it. I'm not saying you're correct, unbelievable, but pretty much, yeah, that's it. So yeah, we got her a bunch of the LOL surprise and some slime stuff because Amanda will love that, you know. She's like, I want slime. I'm like, fuck, all right, I'll get you slime. I'm not your parent.
Getting even for something, are you?
Yeah. And Kenzie gave me a couple ideas. Most of her stuff due to be delivered on the 24th, Charles.
Oh,
so
yeah?
we'll see. We'll see.
Wow.
We'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah, we'll see. This is me not holding my breath.
What shipping is it coming?
Oh, it's coming. I've never heard of it. It's like Chin Express or something. Like it's straight from China. And I'm like, they're like, it's been picked. The tracking says it's been picked up by a courier. I'm like, Chinese don't share nothing. You know, like
I have had a telebridge coming to me for 12 days now from Maryland, and I'm in Texas. It should be 3 days.
Well, yeah, and since when does Amazon fulfill stuff that comes straight from China usually? Like, not most stuff I buy is usually fulfilled by Amazon or it's sold through, but, you know, there's extra shipping. I'm like, oh, no, this was all the free shipping and everything. Like, as an Amazon purchase, all of a sudden, oh, it's coming out of China. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
They've been doing that a lot lately.
What's up, David? Pekarski?
No, Martin, you guys have quite the channel there. It's very enjoyable.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It like I said, it just reminds me a lot of my channel, early days.
Yeah.
Just with accents, which it was like listening to me and Richie like impersonating Henning for a show or something. I'm sure that just crossed some boundary, but I hope you get it in jest, Martin. That's possible, Lawrence. That is no, we don't say that word, that acronym either, BC Rich.
Oh, that's awesome.
Aircraft in the air. That's a big one coming in hot and heavy. That's a C-17. It's got all the turbines turning. Dale Boyle says, hey, Ben, and everyone, what piece of gear would you like to pick up on Boxing Day? Anything particular that you would love to see on sale? Yes, because it'd be a random item that I wouldn't normally buy, but I've been lusting over for a couple of months. I want that Boss Octave pedal. Was it the OC2? I think. I want the Boss Octave pedal. I want to try that out. Yeah, pretty much, Tom. Pretty much. They're like, it's between the 24th or mid-January. I was like, now you're getting into NAMI time. We don't do NAM numbers. No. We shall see. We got a couple. She's got a scarf and some rings, but they're called knuckle rings. I don't know. There's like 30 of them. It sounds like I got chainmail in the package. I'm like, that's a lot of rings. Whatever. She's 13, Charles. I don't know what to buy a 13-year-old girl.
No, well, you shouldn't.
You can't just go down to a street corner and ask random girl. Like, that's just wrong. No, there's no market research. Just got to hope for the best. Yeah, she wanted some kind of light thing. I don't know, for her room. I was like, all right. We did that for her birthday. Unbelievable. Which I still have. That's one of the ones that I'm rebuilding still. Yeah, she's been asking about that. I gotta get on that.
What is it you're rebuilding for her?
Bullet Strat.
Oh, okay. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I think her birthday was in July. Gift card, earbuds. Yeah, she got earbuds last year. I wish. Yeah, and gift card. I don't know. For Effie Tone? No, she probably wouldn't care for that. Oh, congrats, Martin. Hit 300 today.
Wow.
Kids like cash. See, makeup, Zach, that's a slippery slope. And that involved me going to that building with all the stores inside. I believe they call it the mall, or as I call it, Charles, hell.
Yeah.
Especially this month of the year, which is usually the only month of the year I ever darken their doorstep.
Yeah.
And that's because I know there's huge strategic places. Like they got they got them in the States too. Oh, it's not a joke shop, but it's kind of, they got some joke shop stuff, but they got a bunch of cool t-shirts and stuff.
Oh, like, like Hot Topic kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, what the hell's the name of the store? Oh, because I first heard of them there, and then we got one here.
Well, maybe Hot Topic or Spencer's Gifts.
Spencer's! That's it. Spencer's Gifts, yeah. Thank you, guys, as well. Yeah, like I'll go in there and buy some t-shirts. Or and then I'll go over to, it's enough. Fortunately, the mall people, they're smart, Charles. The name on the front might change, but it's the same thing. Like it was HMV, which was one record shop. And then apparently they went tits up. But the next year there was it's now Tower Records, but it's in the same spot. I'm like, whatever. I don't care. I go in there. There's fucking DVDs down one side, CDs down the other, and concert shirts in the back somewhere. Perfect.
There you go.
And usually you go in there, and for the kids, they got their retro. Oh, I'm going to wear my vintage distressed Guns N' Roses shirt. Whereas I'm like, oh, cool. They carry Guns N' Roses shirts here. Well, I don't see it as retro wear. I see it as active wear.
Definitely. Well, Mahogany, I know you got here late, but so I showed off the telly build.
There's my lovely sister Amanda as well.
And then we took a look at.
Oh, that's just.
We took a look at the fabric top again. And we gave everybody a preview of the fabric top strat we're working on.
See, and even then, like Amanda's like, just shoot me some CDs. If I was buying CDs, I'd just go to the used place and I'll buy you twice as many CDs.
Here you go.
Because again, why pay full price when you can get them for half price? Mm-hmm. All right. See you, Lawrence. Have a good night, my friend.
Have a good evening, Lawrence.
Who wants CDs, Chris? I don't know. People with CD players?
I tell you, kids at at that age, and even now with my son, he's 19, and it changes from one day to the next what they want anyway.
I see. I was smart. Oh, okay. That makes sense, Amanda. Yeah, what I did was I just said to Kenzie, who's the 13-year-old, Charles, and I just said, do you have that Amazon app on your phone? She said, I do.
So let me take a look.
Perfect. Grab your sister. Bonding time with sisters. Peruse the old Jungle website for your uncle, and then just send me the links to a bunch of stuff, and then I can just pick and choose out of that.
Yeah, that's the way you do it.
And
Amazon's nice. They got it set up where you can have your a wish list public and private.
That's right.
Yeah. BC Rich bought a box set of cassettes at the used place near his house today, and they were still sealed.
Nice.
It's interesting he didn't say what they were, though.
No. Hey, Travis. John buys 8 tracks just to be different. Lawrence does have a great Christmas CD. I forgot all about that. That's on my old computer. I got to dig that out for this time of year. Yes. Lawrence is his own personal Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Ah. Something I did not know.
Michael Chris says, cassettes are back and it's so stupid. It's going to kill the record industry, man. People are going to start pirating them.
It was funny, I was surprised when vinyl made it come back. Cassettes coming back makes no sense whatsoever.
Other than the fact that they fit into the pocket of your jean jacket pretty good.
Yeah, well,
because you could have the Walkman on the hip and 2 extra cassettes. One in, it's like 1 in the chamber and 2 spares. Not that that's how I went through high school. That's how I went through high school.
Then you need your pencil all the time so you can rewind your cassette if you need to.
Exactly. Home taping is killing music. Exactly. Not going to say lack of talent's killing music, but lack of talent's killing music. I don't know. I can't solve all the world's problems.
Well, I just love it when you see those things where it says nobody has DVDs anymore and nobody has CDs anymore. It's funny because they're all over my house.
Oh, I got boxes. Mine are all in boxes, and the DVD and CD players aren't even hooked up. I got a whole stereo system just sitting over here, not hooked up. Why? I need speaker wire. I got the speakers, got the stereo system. I just need speaker wire. I could probably go to the Best Buy, which is upwards of 1.5 miles from the house, and because let's be honest, Best Buy is about the closest thing to a Radio Shack. I'm like, that's where we need a Radio Shack. I can just walk in. Oh, 10 feet of stereo wire. There you go. Perfect. Do you need the bare end or do you need RCA connectors on the end? I need one of each. All right, we'll just cut off the RCAs off the end. All right, I can do that.
That's actually a pretty decent idea.
Oh, yeah, maybe I'll just do that. I got a shit ton of RCA cables around.
Yeah, do that. It's the same stuff.
Yeah, I'll just butcher some of them. Travis says, I have Radio Shack speakers. So do I. That's the thing. I bought the speaker cabinets off Milk Tea in the chat here because they were from his family's stereo system in the 70s, but need new speakers. So I put new realistic 12-inch subs in them. It worked. And I bought the last turntable that Radio Shack had. And they had to pull it out of the back. It was the floor model. They're like, we think we still have the floor model. I'm like, sweet. Because I bought a new component stereo system. I'm like, yeah, I need a turntable too. Like, yeah, we don't carry those anymore. Dang it.
It's funny because I have a Pioneer CD player that holds 100 CDs. And I was going to get another one.
Yeah, the original MP3 player. Put it on shuffle.
Yeah, until it stops working and you lose all your stuff.
Yeah. And then you're like, how do I get inside to retrieve my library?
Mm-hmm.
Jensen used to make the realistic speakers. No kidding. They sounded nice.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, the things you got from Radio Shack, you knew you were pretty much getting quality.
Well, it was okay quality. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't discount store stuff,
but you knew it was going to work.
Oh yeah, it might not work for a long time. It was the Behringer. Realistic was the Behringer of its day. Let's be honest. It's like we all used it, but we wouldn't say that we use it, Charles.
No.
They were the Behringer of their day. Yes. There. That's the theme of tonight's show. Realistic was the Behringer of the 80s, 70s, and 80s.
It's just like, Craftsman tools, right? Good, reliable, last forever, but everyone's still running around with Snap-on stickers.
Yep.
So anybody
Any questions from the chat? Comment? We got 65 people watching. Nice.
That's pretty good.
Realistically, what you could afford. Exactly, Amanda.
And the truth comes out.
Get some sleep, Martin. Scott Brockway will take your spot. The Tandy Company, yes. Your exclusive Tandy dealer.
All right, Martin, you take care. Oh, yeah, Tandy Computers, huh?
Yes, and thank you, Terry, for posting links to Charles's channel in the chat. So if you haven't already, folks, check out his channel. It's blowing up. It's double digits now.
Well, the funny thing was, we were talking about this before we got started. I never set out to make a video. I never set out to have a channel. I was perfectly happy being the guy in the chat commenting. And it was when I got that SG and it was broken. And then I thought that was the only video I was going to make.
So, Tom, you got to reel a speaker cable, you lucky bastard. It's even the old school clear stuff, too. The old amber clear stuff. That's the stuff where you get from one end, you plug it out of your amp output, and by the time you get to the speaker, you're going, was the white stripe for left or right? I can't remember. Was it left? What was I doing? And then you have to go back, and then you're, right.
Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate the sub. But yeah, I never set out to sit there and make videos, and I made the first one just really so Sean could see what happened to it because he wanted an unboxing video. And then, folks who started coming in and said, making comments and saying, hey, what happened to it? And so when I fixed it, we did the other video. And then when I decided, I had bought the LP Junior actually for the neck. I was going to put it on the SG, but the neck pocket was too loose. It's it's very similar. You figure the same company, it would work, right?
No,
but the neck pocket on the SG is a little
that's like putting a Strat neck on a Telly.
Yeah, and so I was like, well, okay, and I only spent like I guess $20-$30 on the LP Junior. I was like, okay, but I want my money back, and this was and the finish on it was so bad, so okay, I'll refin it. I was just gonna paint it until you and I were talking about it, and I said, well, should I paint it or should I do a fabric top?
Okay, I just got to point out two comments. One, he says, yep, never releasing a video. And then the follow-up, unless I'm filming Doug and Ben working on a golf cart. All right. Now let's get the facts straight. If it appears that Doug and Ben are working on a golf cart, really Ben's working on a golf cart and Doug's holding the light. You know that, Charles. You watch NAS Canucks.
Oh, yeah.
Someone gets a little full of himself. That's when I'm like, okay, you go ahead, Mr. Your smart ass, and talk tech.
I watch it just for those moments.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, Doug's cornhole channel, it just keeps getting better and better, though.
I'm not saying currently the reason we don't see him in the chat, he's been in St. Catharines, Ontario all week and covering a cornhole tournament. So, yeah, he's doing pretty good. Apparently, the ACL is quite pissed off with him for speaking his mind on the last video.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're not towing the company line, Doug. He's like,
he didn't hold back on that one. Which is good.
Ice resurfacer, Terry. He doesn't drive a Zamboni. Yeah.
Hey Brad, if you haven't seen the my telly build, your fret rocker makes a day.
It does. I noticed that.
It gets some good camera time.
It does. It walks all the way down the fretboard. Because I was like, because you do a fair amount of edits and stuff. I'm like, oh, we're going to look at all the frets being checked. Sure. Because certain things you will do all the way through and certain things won't. I'm like, all right. I'm like, there is no rhyme or reason. I'm like, I think he's editing out at the point he curses. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, it's too bad I didn't film the setup because it was entertaining.
Yeah, that got a little Bob Vila'd. And here we are doing some soldering. Next thing you know, and she's strung up and ready to roll. Like, what? Okay, Bob Vila. It's like, we're not working to time constraints here, Charles. You're not limited to a half-hour TV show.
Well, at least I gave a shout out to your tuner video.
Yes, you did.
You even put the link in the description.
I do appreciate it. Well, that rant alone cost me some business, I will say. Not that Fender didn't like that video, but Fender didn't like that video at all.
It was great because that's the video with Sam where she was just phenomenal in.
Oh, no. Okay. There was that one. Oh, I was thinking the one where I'm in the middle of demoing, I think it was a Ventura. 60s Ventura. And I stopped mid-demo. I'm like, what?
No, I couldn't. I was trying to find that one, and I couldn't offhand on when I was looking for it real quick. And so I didn't know how to string up those tuners. I didn't remember from watching that video before. And so
did I do a dedicated video on how to string vintage tuners?
Not that I saw in the title.
Well, then I'm going to do one. Hey, there's a video idea. How to string a vintage tuner. I'm going to make that video.
But
what needs to be restrung out of those? Well, the 71's got the ground issue.
Right, the 71 has it, and so when you were doing the 71 with Sam, and you were stringing it, and that was where I got that from.
Right. Makes sense. Oh, that was powerful. That was the whole one, wasn't it? Okay.
Do it the Ben way. Well, I'll tell you, if I didn't edit that soldering, you guys would have been there for quite a while.
Yep. And no cold snacks were harmed in the making of those videos.
No.
A couple were watching them.
Oh, I about died when I read that comment.
I thought you would like that. Because, yeah, you have had some of the best comments on some of my videos. Yeah, the pedal's all right, and the performer-shaped object wasn't too bad either. I'm like, damn it.
Well, see, that all comes from you because I picked it up because you would always say telly-shaped object or strat-shaped object, right? And so I figured I'd just run with those.
Oh, I love it, yeah. And I ripped off Derek from Script Garage off something. He had something shaped object. I forget what it was, and I was just like, oh, I love that.
My favorite is when he goes, yeah, sure, we'll do that. It's not the right way to do it, but we'll do it.
Yeah. We'll just pretend we didn't see that. Moving along. There was that one the other day when I swear I smelled burning halfway through the video.
The look on your face was great.
See you, Chris. Have a good night, my friend.
Take care, Chris.
Or that unboxing from Scott. Wonder what this does. Don't know. Seems cool, though. Sure. Reminds me, I still have Amanda's strap. Tomorrow, Amanda will get her strap, if I remember. I'll bring them both. See which one she wants. She'll probably want the one with the strap locks on it, but not want the strap locks, which means then I got to take them off. See you, Janice. Have a good night.
All right, Janice. Take care. Yeah,
I should probably do another restring video or two at this point. It's around that time. She hasn't seen them yet, Scott. Shit. Well, she was over at the house, but usually when she's over at the house, she's not here to hang out. Hey, there's the Great Vanzini.
Yeah, Great Vanzini. Yeah, Great Vanzini subbed my channel after watching the Electar video.
Right.
I think that video gets more views than anything.
Makes sense.
Half the videos on YouTube on that are using it as a harmonica amplifier.
Excuse me.
But
I just want to plug a Gretsch into it.
I'd really like to get my hands on the 30.
What's that one? How much is that one?
This one here is a 10 watt, and
you can still get ornery with it,
huh?
You could still get ornery with it.
Oh, you can, but I would love to see what you can do with 30, because the 10's got the 8-inch speaker,
you
know, and so it's like, yeah.
I'd want to plug that into at least a 10, if not a 12-inch speaker.
Mm-hmm.
So you could always just disconnect the speaker and put a jack on it.
Yeah, I thought about that.
And
I love the Princeton 650 because it's got a 12-inch Celestion in it.
That's something Rich would quite often do, is just a little L bracket, you know, especially on an open back amp. Mm-hmm. Just a little L bracket and with a little jack right there and a switch or something to turn off the speakers and flip it over to that output and then turn any amp into a head. It's like, okay, sure. He's like, yeah, I did on this amp. I'm like, of course you did. Yeah, why not?
I thought about that.
Yeah, because then you use all these little practice combo amps as mini heads.
And, you know, they both sound real good. It's one of those things where when I go to play, I struggle which one I want to use. But when I first got the Princeton, I didn't think I even changed the settings the first time I used it. It sounded so good.
Nice.
And then I started exploring what I wanted to do with it.
Sure. Dan New Jersey says I have the Princeton with the 12-inch Jensen. Heaven.
Yeah.
Yep. Jensen speakers work so well in Fender amps. That's just like, that's your glassy, clean Fender amp sound.
And
I'm curious about that new Johnny Highland amp, because that sounds like basically a Fender with a Celestion in it, which is very Keith Richards-esque.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to mention that the other night because I was just like, that's such a cool amp.
Well, you know, you need to get Johnny on your channel.
It'll happen sooner or later.
Yeah, Magic Man, I've been looking for one of those Supros for a good deal.
Good luck.
Yeah.
They seem to be, I'll let the people that bought them, when they decide to let them go, they're letting them go, but they're not letting them go cheap. They're like, I don't need to let it go, so you pay my price.
Yeah, well, see, I'm a cheap bastard. I'll wait it out. I'll find the one person.
Me too. Me too. So I love those guitar swap meets. I just skim over the place as fast as humanly possible, looking for little gems, and then swoop in. And I more than once going to one of those with Richie, and he's like, oh, there wasn't much in the way of deals there. And I'm pulling pedals out of pockets. And, you know, he's like, where'd you get all this stuff? I'm like, tables? Like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, when a guy's got 6 guitars and just happens to have like one pedal off to the side, I ask, well, he's not into pedals. So what's the deal with the pedal? Well, I don't know. Just give me $20 for it. Like, you're done. You know, okay, sure. Yeah. You know, who cares? Is it any good? Who cares? It was $20.
Find the orphan on the table.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I miss guitar flea markets so much. Maybe next year. Although next year, said if they do have the one, I think I filled some stuff from a couple of them. Yeah, I have, from the Cobra Guitar Show, which is like 45 minutes up the road. I think Richie and I agreed next time they have one, we're going to vend, because oh my God, I've got so much shit. The amount of gear that was there I probably had 20% as much, like there was only 5 times as much gear at the entire show than I owned. Because it wasn't that big a show the last time. And God, I could take stuff to show, stuff to sell. One big ass table of pedals. Lots of people can walk in. Got any pedals? That guy's got all the pedals over there. He's got all of them.
Well, I told you when I bought the body for the Telecaster, I offered him a ridiculous price. I mean, completely ridiculous. I mean, it was downright rude. I offered him $75 for the body. And so he says, and he's a gigging musician, so he's got kind of a wit to him. And he responded, "Sure, I'll meet you at the police station since you're robbing me." And then agreed to sell it to me for $100.
And it's a Mexican body?
Yeah, it's a Mexican body. Contacted Fender. It's a 2008.
Sure. So it's had some time to dry out and cure a bit, which will happen. I've started to notice my number one. I can start seeing the grain under the paint that you could, like when it was new, that thing was white and smooth as silk. And now you can start seeing just a little something. And I was just like, I'm so happy because that's the one thing you worry about. Because I like a relic old looking guitar. I'm like, will new guitars age? Like, they won't age like the old ones because the old ones looked old in 5-10 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not a big relic guy, but I don't mind something with honest wear.
Because it tells the story.
Yeah. I mean, it's telling it. If it's got that nick from being bumped into something, that's fine. I'm more than happy to have that. Because perfection is overrated, right? In something like that, it's a tool. You want it to be used. You don't want to worry about it.
Yeah.
And but to do that on purpose to something is a different story.
Which I've done both. Like my project guitars, I'll relic them. I'm not going to take a new guitar and just relic it for the sake of relicking it. Like I'm not relicking that. Even though I think it would look cool relict, but I'd rather naturally relic it, which apparently I do every time I do a video on it. It gets a little more relict.
Michael, that's ridiculous. You paid $150 for a made in Mexico telly body, but it had pickups in it and a neck. And it came with a case.
Several years ago.
Yeah, I want to know where he's shopping.
Ian Nunes says, so what do you think of Sire Larry Carlton guitars? I was checking out their Telly type guitar and might order it. Yeah, they seem pretty decent. I remember checking them out a while back.
They do. They seem nice, but again, they're still pretty decent money too.
Robot Mass Switch says he's got a 30-year-old made in Korea Sheridan and only the hardware fretboard and frets of 8. Yeah, I noticed that with my Korean Les Paul was that way too. Other nicks and stuff. But it was a gold top, so I don't know what's it going to do. Just kind of dull a bit with time. I remember that was one guitar I would never clean because then it just looked new again. It just polished up. So it's one of the reasons it got a refin. But yeah, the Mexican tellies the white is starting to yellow just a bit. I'm like, awesome. Because it was bright when I first got it. That thing was like white.
This one's nice. It's the only scratch it has on it is a little bit of buckle rash in the back, and it's not even that bad. I missed it the first time. So
nothing wrong with that. That's the thing, telly though. That's a blonde telly. Like that's the one body that can just get relicked to death, and it's just okay. Sure, looks cool.
Yeah. It's like you said. I had a very different image of what I thought I was going to put together, but I set out to sit there. I'm going to build this as cheap as I can, but using all Fender parts.
Yeah, I dig that.
Everything is Fender except for the pickups, and it's got those Dylan Flat 6 pickups in it, which are
they look strong. He says my year of the pedal board is starting early. I bought my first pedal a few weeks ago. Just traded for a Strymon Blue Sky. They're nice. What is a good delay? Leaning towards the Empress tape delay, Canadian. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, the Empress tape delay is a wonderful delay as well. Can't go wrong with that.
I'd like to try that.
Of course, I feel bad sometimes because I always recommend Lawrence stuff, but I really like his stuff.
You know, it's like they're good.
Like there's a reason I built an all Lawrence board, and that wasn't just for shits and giggles. Like it was just like it works. It works for me. I still haven't built a big board, which apparently I don't need the small board anymore because one of the guys I was jamming with no longer is interested in jamming with us, so that's gone back on hiatus.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah. So I told the drummer, well, you know, check around. If you get any guys, hit me up. You know, because with two people, it's like I could do a duo thing, but I don't really want to do a duo thing. I'd like to have at least 3 people.
Yeah, you need to kind of you need to have the third person for some balance.
Yeah. And to fill out the sound. Like if I'm just noodling, if I'm just going to noodle with a drummer, then I need to bring in octavers and more delays and reverbs and make a wall of sound.
Yeah, Great Vanzini has one of those Empresses. He likes it.
Nice. Well, we're going to go for a little while longer here, folks. Yeah, keep these comments coming on in.
Did you see Magic Man's comment?
I'm happy playing Keeley pedals.
No. Someone came by to buy an amp.
Oh. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, that's so Craigslist. That's funny. I mean, I am so concerned about every time I go to play anything in a music store, I always make sure my shirt's untucked over my belt buckle. Like I usually wrap my belt buckle in my shirt to make sure. I don't care if I rub a hole in the front of my t-shirt.
You know, I don't know. Maybe is it just a younger guy thing where they don't think about it?
Yeah, it's a respect thing.
Yeah.
It's just a stupidity thing. There's meatheads our age that'll do it. Robot wears his belt buckle off to the side. Nice. The side I play the guitar on.
The side it sits on.
I want to make sure I get that buckle rash.
Oh, boy.
I couldn't resist. That would be funny, though. Like Peter Tork. Exactly.
I need to get around to restringing that PRS because it's still got the 10s on it. Now I get the 9s to put on it. I just haven't done it yet.
I think I want to get some more 9.5s.
Yeah, that's what's on the telly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's this one really liked the 9.5. I put all kinds of stuff on this, but something I want to do with this, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, I was going to try putting a shim in the neck to get rid of the old cheese grater from the bridge. We'll see.
I was toying around with the idea of picking up an ashtray cover.
I was thinking too, this one was going to get the B bender, but then I realized I did put a decal right there now. So
Oh, how much do you love her?
She is cute. That's how I noticed how yellow it was getting. Was I started putting the decals on, and you can actually see the white outline on the sticker. I'm like, wow, the paint's really much darker than the white on these, which is awesome. Same as the unfinished metal that Brad Miller sent me for that control cover, which if you look for control covers, I don't know if Brad Miller's still making them or not, but that's a cool little control cover, and it's starting to oxidize a bit, or it's just picking up my grease and stuff, so it's getting a tint to it. And I think to myself,
looking at the angle like that,
I don't mind it. It's never been an issue for me, and it looks different, so I kind of dig it. And I keep thinking I would like to put a finish on this plate, but that involves me. I actually have to desolder the kilt switch because of the way the nuts in the back to hold it in place.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm too lazy to go twice and then take it off. And I don't know. But then again, I think, what if I paint just the control cover candy apple red or something? That would be nice. So
Brad,
I don't know.
Go with the 9-46 on the PRS. It's interesting because usually it's 10-46. Which strings is he keeping from the 10s, and which ones is he keeping? From
the 9-46. Well, yeah, that's your hybrid 9s, they call them. So it's basically your bottom 3 strings are from a set of 9s, and your top 3 are from a set of 10s. Think of it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I use them when I used to tune down a half step. I like them.
These 9.5s are 9-44s. But they feel good on the telly, so I'm going to go ahead and throw them on the PRS as well, ESE. It's a Les Paul style. It's a 245.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Does it have those weird locking tuners on them?
No, it's just got regular tuners on it.
Smart move. I didn't like those where, you got to take this off and they have to line up. And
yeah, that doesn't make any sense. The whole purpose behind locking tuners is to make it a quicker, faster string change. It's real value and fewer winds. But I tend to lock my strings anyway. If you're used to locking your strings, you don't really need a locking tuner.
And wraparound tailpiece, Magic Man. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it was. It's a wraparound tailpiece, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then, and I was thinking when you said you didn't like these, and I was wondering maybe if that was it, that you didn't have a bridge and it sits because the tailpiece doesn't sit back as far.
I will say the single cuts,
the whole palm muting thing.
No, the single cuts I prefer over their more double cut. That I will say that it's, I don't know. I think that they're a little too sleek and smooth, and I don't get to fight them enough. I don't know what it is. I just don't really bond with PRSs.
I like the neck on it, and but it's the 10s on it just feel like I'm playing with barbed wire.
Right. Yeah, you know what? Didn't they? Because that's like half scale length. It's halfway between Fender and Gibson, so it makes sense to use a string gauge halfway between Fender and Gibson. So use 9.5 through 44s.
Yeah, matter of fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take his advice on that. I'll wait and I'll go get a hybrid set. But yeah, it sounds great. It looks great. I mean, I picked it up.
I will say, my dislike of PRS guitars is small comparison to my love of getting a rise out of PRS owners. That I loved. Oh, it's basically the same thing. Oh, bristly. But not every PRS owner is one of those PRS owners. Greatest guitar ever made. I own 4 of them. Yeah, of course you do. Hey, Desiree.
It may be the prettiest one I have, but it's not the first one I pick up.
I can see definitely the Nags Kanai where they got their idea on that one there. I think it's the Kanai.
Hey, Desiree Nestall's here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Travis has an Eastwood. Eastwoods are cool.
Yeah, kind of been looking at those.
So Brad didn't like 9.5s on the PRS. That's Brad.
Yeah. So Brad, what's the difference in the field between using the 9.5s and using the hybrids?
He found the 44 was too slinky, so he needed the 46, I guess. Just that extra little thickness.
No, that makes sense.
It's pretty bad when we're like, oh yeah, 0.002 of an inch. Yeah. It's a world of difference, right? And where we just yeah.
But it's like when.
See you, Kush, man.
All right, Kush, take care. But it's like when you start, when you start out, it's people sitting, I can tell this and I can tell that, and you don't believe it, but the guitar really, the guitar really does tell you what strings it wants is so true.
And it's amazing how early in your journey you realize what you like and don't like as far as action, fret size, string size, picks, all these different, anything where where you can fine tune the guitar for your own playing. Yeah. Oh yeah. Every once in a while, like I pick up a guitar with jumbo frets and I'm just like, I might as well be playing a scalloped fretboard. I'm just like, holy crap, I've been playing my vintage Tellys way too much lately. And then so it's literally okay, or playing my Wolfgang because it's got vintage frets too. And then I look for other guitar. I'm like, well, that's got pretty small frets. Let's play that.
Well, and I have my straight
Thank you, Eli Jr.
My straight edge for measuring the neck is, of course, it's like everybody else's. It's Gibson on one side and Fender on the other. You got to buy a separate one for your PRS.
Well, thanks for stopping in, Des. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll go for a few more minutes here, and then Metalhead Hippies on at 10 o'clock. People can go check out his show. I hear he's entertaining. He is.
He is. He's got a great show there. You never know what you're going to hear. You never know who's going to be there. A lot of fun. And it's another community like this where they're also welcoming.
Yep.
So, Ben, I've got a set of pickups.
That
I've had for about 2 years now.
I can relate, Charles. You know me. I can relate to something like that. Sure.
They're you got a Gibson 490 and a 498.
Right.
Right. And the idea was I was going to go ahead and put them into this Firefly 338.
Okay.
And but then I realized I don't know that I really want to do all that.
You know what? You don't. Do you okay? Do you want to fish a wiring harness through F-holes?
Oh yeah, I know. That's what's kept me from doing it. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna do that, then it's gonna get full size. We're gonna have to redo the pots and everything. It's got the real cheap pots and stuff in it. So if we're gonna do it, we're gonna go do it right.
Oh yeah, but also you might want to stick with those mini crappy pots. You may not. Oh, I'll just put some nice big CTSs in there. Yeah, fit them through the F-holes.
Yeah. Well, that's
great to hear, Aaron. Great to hear.
That was my concern. It's why it's still waiting on to be done.
I'm outsourcing that shit. I've watched Richie bitch and what was he used to do? Switches, three-way switches.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone through one or two issues with it either falling down inside the guitar, like he issues, and usually that's a 2-day operation because he'll start it and he'll start drinking while doing it and then get frustrated and more cold snacks and then frustrated and have to walk away. And that's around the time Ben shows up.
Yeah, see, that was why there were no cold snacks in my soldering video.
I get it. Sometimes they help with the jitters or something, but anymore, and then your frustration level goes real high, real fast.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a time where I can, I'm going to set up a table in here where it can sit on there, and I could do a little bit and then walk away and do a
Yeah.
little bit, walk away.
Sometimes just come into the room there, Charles, and just sit there and look at it.
Yeah.
Just, yep.
Why aren't you done yet?
Yeah.
But those Fireflies, they're actually pretty nice. It's it's $150. It was a $160 guitar.
Why not?
And I wanted a semi-hollow, and so it was pretty much filled the need of what I wanted. And so I just said, okay, I'll make it sound a little better.
It's not like you're needing to tour with it or anything.
Yeah, and it filled the need. It looks gorgeous, and I lucked out. I got one that was in really good shape. Some of those come. The only thing that I had to change out, I changed out the bridge because the bridge just rattled too much. It was real cheap bridge, and I put a cheap roller bridge on it because eventually I want to put a Duesenberg on it.
Oh, right. Yeah. I want to get one of those for the Gretsch, one of those Duesenberg trims.
Yeah. And so that's how Lucas ended up putting one on his, because we were talking about it in one of their large.
Right. And yeah, you guys were talking about it in my chat, and then I got all hooked on it. And now I'm just hoping one just shows up on my doorstep one day. I'll be like, oh, that's nice. That's going on a guitar.
I tell you, eventually I'm going to get one and do it.
Yes, I do, Frank. I'm a huge fan of Vice Grip Garage.
Yeah.
Love Derek.
And
I'll be watching him after we're done tonight. There's a new one out.
So if I put the pickups in it, then I'm definitely getting the Duesenberg, because gotta make it worthwhile.
Yeah. If you're stripping it, you're going to strip her all the way down. Yeah. Yeah, Frank, you can notice some Vice Grip Garage influence. What was it? The Les Paul Jr. refinish that I did last year, because I did it the right way. Nothing like running out of paint halfway through painting a guitar and not having any more of that color.
That was great.
Perfect.
My favorite part was when you got the drip.
We'll just pretend we didn't see that.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Brad Miller was just pulling his hair out during that entire series.
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow, when I was putting it back, all I did was shove the electronics inside the cavity. I didn't even gut it. And somehow, putting them back through, wire comes off, resolder it, and now the pot works in reverse.
It's funny. The funny thing about wiring your guitar that I found out from doing these two builds is that you can find all the diagrams in the world to tell you how to do it, to show you how to do it. But I haven't been able to find anywhere that tells you why. Right? Why hooking this up here on this switch does this? Because I don't want to just copy the diagram. I want to understand it.
Sometimes it's best not to understand. I don't know.
Especially if you're doing it the right way.
All I know is every time I'm working on the soldering on a guitar, it's like, yeah, I can do it. But I remember how much I don't like doing it. And so I stopped doing it years ago, because when just before I started the channel, I didn't do any repair work on my guitars. Rich was my guitar tech for years, and I was always dropping gear. Like, I had 3 guitars in rotation, and one was always at his place getting something done. He did all my setups, all my wiring, everything I needed. See you, Mahogany.
Take care, Mahogany.
And for years, so I got out of the habit of it, and it was convenient because I was working full time and playing in 2 to 3 bands at a time, especially after a while. So, it was convenient. And especially, I think, one of the bands we're rehearsing, by the time we were rehearsing at his place with a Honey Badger outfit, it was literally drop a guitar off for practice, take the other one home because I always left gear at his place rather than take it back and forth. I was just have it ready for next rehearsal. Done. Okay. And then I show up for the next rehearsal and I have that guitar modded or repaired or what have you. And then all of a sudden start a YouTube channel. I'm like, I suppose I could start doing. I'm like, man, I used to know how to do all this stuff, and it's so frustrating. Yeah. Oh boy. Holy crap. How did we go for almost 2 hours?
I don't know. I figured this was going to be your first 20-minute show.
Oh yeah. Sure. Well, get any last comments in, folks. We'll go for a few more minutes. We'll go to the top of the hour.
And I appreciate those of the sub during the show. It's nice to see. Appreciate it.
Magic Man says, I like buying guitars that already do the thing. Yeah, so do I. But then they stop doing that thing. And then you got to fix the thing. And then you think, well, while I'm fixing the thing, Charles, I could also make it do that other thing while I'm in there. So then you start doing other things while you're fixing
it's the rabbit hole you got to worry about.
Yeah. Or do I fix the thing or do I replace it with a better thing?
So I'm one of those cheap people. I'd rather buy something that needs to be fixed and get a great deal on it than pay the whole hog for something.
Charles is like the guy. Yeah. Oh God, you could do the Vice Grip Garage channel, but so I bought this guitar sight unseen off the face space. Haven't plugged it in. I don't know if it works. Let's see if it works.
Yeah,
and then it's like just
work.
Get the guitar to work. Yeah, so you might get lucky. Pull it out of the box. It works. Other times, not so much. All right, what do we got to get going? And it's the same as doing a resurrection on a vehicle. It's only so many things it could be, and diagnose it and. Of course, you'd be grayer and or balder within a year of doing a YouTube channel based on that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Scott, you do that with those pedals. That's amazing. I would really want to know how that stuff works, and I don't know that yet. I tell you, there was a Gretsch that came up locally, Ben, that was just like yours, except it was green. And I was in love. I was just like, oh, I got to get this. And
hey, Billy.
Just didn't have that money. My wife would have killed me.
I know the feeling. I had a chance to pick up, I think it was this spring, a matching pair of Eastwoods, like their Most Right looking guitar, which I've always loved. And the guy had the Most Right and the baritone version of the Most Right for short money. Hey, Alex.
Hey, Scott, I'm gonna look for that. Thank you.
And so, yeah, I was just like, oh man, like what's better than having a guitar and then having another version of the guitar, but it's a baritone of the same. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Two birds, one stone, one dude. And I was like, oh, I got enough money for at least one of them. And I literally, and I was like one of those guys, hey, do you have this? He goes, no, man, I'm sorry, I'd already sold. I'm like, well, do you have the other one? Immediate reply.
Well, I got the I got the Princeton, and then all of a sudden I started seeing Princetons everywhere, right? And so I was watching this Princeton 65 the other day, and it was on auction, and it was going for $166 at that point. And I was like, come on.
Oh, I know. For years, I would love to have that pod of like $5,000 to play with, to flip gear with. But I'd never have that extra surplus. And plus, it ends up staying on sometimes. Because sometimes they're like, I don't want to go. I'm like, I'm sorry, but you got to go.
Well, it's like when I first started got into it, and my wife was, every time I got something, she would look and she'd say, oh, okay, how many more do you need? And And it was like, yeah, I just, I don't know. And but after starting to do the projects, and she saw what I was turning, what I turned the junior into, she stopped asking about how many. She said, "You're not going to buy any more, right?" But she doesn't ask me about how many more. And so, but it was like, okay, you don't have to sell your amp. You don't have to sell that guitar. You can keep it. But so she kind of gets it now, and and I really appreciate it. My wife is really supportive of a lot of things that I do, and it's nice to have someone take care of you like that.
It is. Well, it could be worth. You could take up like golf.
Yeah.
What's a round of golf cost? And that's a one-time cost, and it's gone. You invest that same amount of money in a pedal.
Oh, or cars even. It's the same thing.
Oh,
been there.
Oh,
You know that.
That's a rabbit hole. Yeah, at least with music gear, you can usually get back out of it what you put into it.
Yeah, it was
within reason. Within reason.
Well, I think I can get back everything I've got into that telly if I had to.
Exactly.
Because
that's the thing,
of
like
the way I shop for it.
People can say, "Well, it's a parts caster; it's only worth so much." All right, well, I could always part it out again.
Mm-hmm. What do you think I've got in it? If you had to guess.
What kind of pickups are in it?
It's got Dylan Flat Six pickups in it.
I have no idea what they are. Damn it.
Right. Dylan Talks Tone. He's the guy that goes around and.
I know Dylan Talks Tone. I know that name. Okay.
So he makes pickups on the fly as he goes around the country in his motorhome.
Oh, that's cool.
And so they're normally a $200 set.
Okay. So it's that. So it's that. You got that for that because I know that. All right. No, with those parts, but you live in the U.S., so that's a little. So, $540.
In without taxes, without shipping, I'm in at $427.
And with taxes and shipping, it's $540.
No, with taxes and shipping, it is $484.
With conversion rates. Sweet. That's a sweet deal.
Yeah. And I was showing my wife.
What does a new Mexican telly cost these days in the US? 6, 7?
8.
8? Okay.
They're 8.
So they're going to be 5 at least used.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and
you have to build it too.
And you wouldn't have a rosewood neck, rosewood fingerboard. You wouldn't have vintage tuners. You wouldn't have four-way switch.
You might. No, wait. You might have the vintage tuners. Chances are definitely not the four-way switch, unless you happen to pick up a Nashville telly or something. A one-off. But I'm thinking there's a fair amount of Venturas out there and the classic vibes that would have the vintage tuners. But the pickups. Well, okay. Well, let's even say if the pickups would be relative in quality. Because there's nothing wrong with Mexican pickups.
No,
but you're not getting that pick guard. You still got to buy that pick guard.
My Squire over here's got Mexican pickups in it. It's got the electronics out of a Hendrix, and I think they're Robert Cray pickups in it for the Mexican telly, for the Mexican.
Well, there we are.
And I like them. They sound good. The only thing I've never really been happy with bridge pickups, and so I was thinking about putting one of those Seymour Duncan Pearly Gates single coil shaped humbucker in it. No?
I don't know. Maybe the technology's improved in the last 30 years, but I had an original Duncan Mini humbucker.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded thinner than margarine on a summer day.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, I was like, ew, no. I was, no. I didn't like it.
But something happened a couple weeks ago, and I found a setting on my amp and started really digging my bridge pickups because I almost always play on the neck. or between two pickups. And but I found a setting on the Princeton that I just loved on the bridge pickup, and it's like, okay, now I get it, but I wasn't getting it before.
Gotta have the right amp. Well, on that note, we should probably call it a night. Any parting words, my friend? And thank you so much for coming on.
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me on, and thank you to everybody out there in the chat, because how great and wonderful and supportive they've been. And it's just fantastic being part of this community, and I really appreciate it.
Glad to have you on. We'll do it again in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a one-on-one or a group hang or what have you. Definitely a fun time tonight. So obviously hold the line, as they say. And I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight, and shout out to the mod squad. Hello, Gretch Zeppelin. I know you've been here for a couple hours. Forgot to say hi to you.
Thanks, House of 2
hours ago. Oh, dear Lord. Quentin James sent you pics too, Mayhem? Apparently all the cool.
Thanks, Great Manzini.
So, yeah, thanks everybody that tuned in tonight. Shout out to the mod squad for helping out. Special shout out to anybody that contributed to tonight. Believe me, it's much appreciated. Got to get the shingles put on the roof. That's going to, yeah. Sure. Yep. All right. On that note, channel members, awesomeness, patrons, you know who you are. Tomorrow night, Canucks with Guitars, featuring myself, Tom, and Terry. Q&A. Yep. Any new gear to show off? Nope. So there we go. That's Charles. I'm Ben. Hold those doors open. Let that lady in heady in traffic do good things, and good things will happen to you. Doug's wife is real. That's why. Happy tone chasing. Enjoy your journey. Be good to each other. And of course, don't litter.